이제 지금부터 엄청난 소리를 하겠습니다.
So now what I'm about to tell you is going to rock your world.
엄청난 정보를 여러분에게 오늘 최초로 공개한다.
So for the first time in the world, I'm going to share this tremendous piece of information with you.
여러분들 읽어볼까요?
So do you want to read that? Changes in perspective, geocentric model, heliocentric model, humanitarian model.
들어봤습니까?
Have you heard of these before?
여기서 봤지 지금.
So, well, now you've just seen it.
저 인동설은 내가 최초로 선포를 한 겁니다.
The humanitarian model, that's something that I proclaimed for the first time.
우리가 사는 시대는 이제 지동설을 지나서 인동설로 들어왔습니다.
So the time that we're living in right now, we're moving past the heliocentric model where the earth revolves around the sun, and we're going to the model where humans are doing the moving, and I want to call the humanitarian model.
이제 이 지동설이 발표됨으로 인해서 인간은 그런 그 관점의 변화가 온 겁니다.
So when we went from the model where we thought the earth was at the center and the sun or heaven moved around it to the model where the sun is at the center and the earth moves around it, that was a huge shift in human thought.
이 지동설로 인해서 관점이 바뀌었는데도 과학적으로는 이게 바뀌었지 생활적으로는 아직도 이런 상태에 살고 있습니다.
So even though there was this massive shift in perspective when we went to the heliocentric model, in terms of our everyday life, people are still living like they still go with the geocentric model where we think the earth is at the center and everything else revolves around it.
Do you understand? 이건 굉장한 사실인데 이걸 잘 모르고 삽니다.
So this is actually a really big, a huge fact, but people are unaware of this.
이 지동설은 이거 국민학교만 나와도 다 아는 거예요.
And so if you've just graduated from elementary school, then everybody knows about the heliocentric model, which has the sun at the center and the earth moving around it.
대학을 나오고 석사 박사도 근데 이 의미를 잘 모릅니다.
But even people who've graduated from college or have a doctorate degree, they don't understand the full significance of this.
여러분이 지구가 결국은 움직인다는 얘기인데
So in the end, it means the earth is moving.
지구가 움직이는 게 느껴집니까?
But can you feel the earth moving?
그리고 지구가 움직이든지 안 움직이든지 그게 나하고 무슨 상관이야 이런 생각을 하고 사는 건 아닙니까?
Or aren't you thinking, well, so what if the earth moves? What does that have to do with me and my life?
달라지는 게 없잖아요.
Because nothing changes.
천동설을 얘기할 때나 지금 지동설 얘기해서 지금 근 400년이 넘게 지나는데도 뭐 비슷하잖아요.
So even though 400 years passed since we went from thinking that the earth is at the center and the sun goes around it to knowing that the sun's at the center and the earth goes around it, nothing's changed in our actual everyday lives.
여러 가지 여전히 죄의식을 갖고 살고
So people still have a lot of guilt
여전히 두려움 속에 살고
and people still live not only in guilt but also in fear.
미래에 대해서 희망이 확실히 잘 느껴지지 않고
And sometimes it's hard to feel hope for the future.
내가 누군지도 잘 모르겠고
And a lot of people don't know who they are.
내가 왜 사는지도 모르겠고
They don't know why they live or what they live for.
내 삶의 가치가 뭔지 잘 확실히 모르겠고
Or they don't realize what the value of their life, the purpose of their lives are.
그래서 어떤 때 가끔 내 마음 나도 몰라 이렇게 얘기하고
And sometimes some people say, I don't even know my own mind.
내가 왜 이런지 몰라
I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why I'm doing this.
내가 왜 이렇게 불안한지 몰라
I don't know why I feel so
왜 내가
insecure.
왜 이런지 몰라
I don't know why I'm so anxious and nervous.
지식은 많이
I
들어봤는데
don't know why I'm so lonely. Even though I have all this knowledge,
모르는 게 너무나 많아
there's so much I just don't know.
그리고 이 인간관계도 자꾸 힘들고
And I struggle with my relationships with other people.
또 이 사회가 돌아가는 것도 뭔가 자꾸 불안해
Or the way that society is going, it just makes me nervous.
이 지동설이라고 하는데 지구가 돌아가는 느껴지지 않고
Or even though we're told that the earth is moving, I don't feel it with my body.
우리가 알고 있는 것은 지구가 자꾸 병 들어가고 있고 환경 오염이 심해진다는 걸 알고 있어요.
And so we know that the earth is getting sicker and sicker, that the environment is being increasingly polluted.
근데 그거 알고 있는데도 내가 개인적으로는 힘이 없어. 어떻게 할 수가 없어.
But even though I know that, personally, I feel like there's nothing I can do, or I feel that I don't have the power to make real change.
이 세상을 이끌어가는 큰 시스템도 그걸 어떻게 하지 못해.
Or even the larger systems that are leading the world have not been able to do something about how we're killing the Earth's environment.
그렇죠?
Isn't that right?
아주 혼란스러운 거예요.
So it's so confusing.
그래서
네,
자
two.
이게 태양이 여기 있어요.
So here we have the sun.
여러분이 볼 때 태양이 이렇게 떠서 집니까? 어떻게 보입니까? 태양이 뜹니까? 가라앉습니까?
So from what you see, doesn't it look like the sun is moving and that the sun goes up and down?
태양이 뜨죠.
So the sun rises, right?
그 태양이 또 지죠.
And then it sets.
여러분들 헛본 거예요. 잘못 본 거예요.
So, but you saw it all wrong.
이게 천동설 때 얘기입니다.
So that's what they said when they thought the earth was at the center and the sun was moving around the earth.
태양이 가만히 있고
But the sun stays still.
지구가 그럼 이렇게 돌을까요? 이렇게 돌을까요?
And then which way does the earth turn? Does it turn this way or this way?
이렇게 돌을까요? 이렇게 돌을까요?
So it turns this way.
이게 지구예요.
And so here's the earth.
여러분이 지구를 안다면 최소한 지구가 왼쪽으로 도는지 오른쪽으로 도는지 알아야 될
If
거
you know
아니에요.
the earth, then you should at least know whether it's turning to the left or turning to the right.
그래서 이 지동설을 안다면서 이것도 몰라. 지구가 어디 도는지.
And that's why even though you say you're familiar with the heliocentric model, you still don't even know which way the earth turns.
나도 1시간 전에 몰랐어요.
Actually, even me, I didn't know until an hour ago either.
그래서 내가 차 타고 오면서 두 손을 이렇게 올리고 이건 태양이고
So
지구고.
there I was in the car with my hands like this, trying to figure out which way the earth was
그래서
turning.
알게 됐어요.
So and then I figured out
이렇게 도는 거예요.
it goes this way.
이렇게 도르니까 태양이 일제가 가는 거지 보이죠. 이렇게.
So it's turning this way, and that's what makes it look like the sun's moving this way,
이렇게 도는 겁니다.
and because it's turning this way.
아, 지구가 이렇게 도는구나.
So I realized, oh, the earth turns this way.
그래서 우리가 지구와의 공감 능력을 가져야 됩니다.
So we need to have the ability to empathize with the earth.
이것이 지동설에 사는 사람이에요.
So and that's as people who are living in with heliocentric theory or the heliocentric model.
우리가 지구에 공감을 못 하고 있어요.
So it means that right now we're not empathizing with the earth. We don't feel with the earth.
지구 하면서 완전히 지구와 떨어져 삽니다.
So even though we're talking about the earth all the time, we've created this distance or detachment from the earth.
그래서 지구는 자연이라고 얘기를 해요.
So we say that the earth is nature,
그러면서 자기가 자연인지 몰라.
but people don't realize that you're also nature.
여러분 자연입니다.
So, but you are nature.
이게 중요한 거예요.
That's how important this is.
아, 내가 자연이구나.
Oh, I am nature.
난 뉴질랜드에서 그것을 먼저 알려줍니다.
So that's the first thing that I share in New Zealand.
아, 자연이 정말 아름답다.
Nature is so beautiful,
당신도 자연이다.
and you also are nature.
우리는 자연과 함께 하고 있습니다.
We are here together with nature.
과거도,
So the past
미래도,
and the present
현재도
and the future and even now in the present,
우리가 자연이라는 거
to know that you're nature.
굉장한 깨달음입니다.
That's a huge enlightenment.
난 그것을 느꼈을 때
So when I felt that,
굉장히 느꼈어요.
I was completely taken aback, and it
그게
was
내 깨달음의 시작과 끝입니다.
that was the beginning and end of my enlightenment.
그래서 나는 깨달음이 뭐냐고 물으면
So when somebody asks me, what is enlightenment?
얘기를 합니다.
Then I say,
또 누가 당신 깨달았습니까? 물어보면
or if somebody asks, are you enlightened?
난 대답을 합니다.
Then I answer,
이렇게 대답을 합니다.
this is how I answer.
알려줄 거예요, 말까요?
Would you like to know what I say?
나는 깨달았다.
So I am enlightened.
깨달을 것이 없다는 것을 깨달았다.
But what I became enlightened to is that there's nothing to become enlightened to.
특별히 깨닫는 게 있다고 하면 그 사람은 계속 태양이 돈다고 하는 사람과 같아.
So if you say there's something specific or something in particular you have to become enlightened to, that's like the person who says it's the sun that's moving around the earth.
Do you understand? 그 사람은 천정설 속에 있는 거예요.
So that person is still living with the geocentric model.
지동설의 의미를 아는 것이 이 시대에 우선 중요하고
So the first important thing in our day and age is to understand the significance of the heliocentric model where we know that the earth moves around the sun.
지동설을 지식으로 아는 게 아니라 감성으로 느껴야 된다는 거예요.
And the thing is you have to not just know it intellectually, you have to feel it with your sensibility.
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 그게 중요한 거다.
So that's what matters.
이묘선의 수준에서는 그 감정이기 때문에 공감 능력이 없습니다.
When you're at a particular level, then you don't have the ability to empathize, and that's why you don't have sensibilities.
sensibility를 우리가 느끼고 살아야 되는 이유는
But the reason we need to have sensibilities as we live our everyday lives
그때 우리는 감정을 넘어서서 감정을 조절할 수가 있는 힘이 생깁니다.
is because that's when we can go beyond our emotions, and that's when we have the power to control our emotions.
천동설은 감정의 차원이 없고
So the geocentric model where heaven is moving, that's where you just have emotions.
인간의 오감으로 볼 때는 항상 태양이 뜨고 져요.
So if you look from the 5 human senses, it just looks like the sun is rising and setting.
모든 책도 항상 태양은 동쪽에서 뜬다고 얘기를 합니다.
And even in all the books it says the sun rises in the east.
그건 천동설이에요.
So that's the geocentric model where heaven is moving around the earth.
그렇게 얘기하지 말고 태양을 보면서 나는 왼쪽으로 돈다 이렇게 얘기해야 됩니다.
So actually instead of putting it that way, we need to say, as I look at the sun, I am spinning to the left.
그게 sensibility가 있는 거예요.
So that's what it means to have sensibility.
그래서 관점의 변화가 필요하다.
So it requires a shift in perspective.
그런 변화가 될 때 우리는 파워브레인이 될 수 있는 기본이 됩니다.
So when you experience that shift, then you've got the basic things basic fundamental requirements to become a power brain.
인동설이 왜 중요한가?
Then why is the humanitarian model important?
한 사람의 인간은 지구만큼 중요하다는 얘기가 있습니다.
So there is a saying, an idea that one human being is as important as the whole earth.
들어봤습니까?
Have you ever heard this before?
한 개인은 의미가 없고 국가나 종교만 의미가 있고 이 지구만 의미가 있습니까?
Or is it that one individual doesn't matter and it's only the whole country that matters or the religion that matters or the whole earth that matters?
여러분 가치가 없어요?
Then does that mean you're not valuable?
근데 어느 순간부터 개인의 가치가 정말로 무시됐습니다.
But from some moment, from a certain point in time, that the personal value or the individual value started becoming really dismissed.
그럼 진정한 깨달음은 뭐겠습니까?
Then what is true enlightenment?
자기가 없는 깨달음의 의미가 있을까요?
So is there a point, is there a significance or meaning to enlightenment if you are not there?
자기가 없는 깨달음의 의미가 있습니까?
So if you're not there to become enlightened, then is there a point in that enlightenment?
자기가 없어져 버린 깨달음 무슨 의미가 있습니까?
So what's the point of an enlightenment if you're not there?
자기가 없는 행복이 무슨 의미가 있습니까?
Or what's the point of happiness if you're not there to have it?
그렇게 여러분은 중요한 존재이고 영혼입니다.
So that's how each of you is a very precious and very important being and existence.
여러분의 가치는 여러분이 결정한다.
So you determine your own value.
그게 이해가 되면
And if you can understand that, then please put your hands together and make some noise.
그거 이해가 되면 대단한 거예요.
If you understand that, then that's a big deal.
우리 너무나 많은 정보가 있기 때문에
Because we have so much information.
어느 순간 자기의 가치가 얼마큼 귀하고 위대한지를 잃어버리고 살기 때문에 자기 개발이 안 되는 것이다.
So there's so much information that people lose touch with themselves and how important and valuable their own importance and value, and that's why they don't work on their own self-development.
Do you understand? 이제는 휴머니타리안의 시대입니다.
So now is the time for humans to move. It's the era of the humanitarian.
개인의 가치를 인정하고
So we need to acknowledge and recognize individual value.
무한한 가능성이 나의 뇌에 있다고 그렇게 아는 것.
And you have to know that you have infinite potential in your brain.
그래서 환경에 물질 문명에 지배당하지 말고 스스로 자기의 삶을 디자인하는 것.
So don't let yourself, instead of letting yourself be controlled by your environment or controlled by your conditions, to be able to design your environment the way you want it to be.
모든 권리는 어디서부터 나와요?
Then all of that power or authority, where does it come from?
지구에서부터 나와요? 국민으로부터 나와요?
Does it come from the earth or does it come from the people?
국민으로부터 나온다고 법으로 되어 있습니다.
According to the
민주예요.
law, in the US, it comes from the people.
그렇지 않습니까?
Isn't that right?
모든 권리는 국민으로부터 나오는 거예요.
So all of the power comes from the people.
그 얘기는 그만큼 국민, 사람 하나하나가 중요하다는 뜻 아니겠습니까?
But wouldn't you agree that that means that each individual person, every single person really matters?
근데 그게 잘 실감으로 느껴지지 않으니까 문제죠.
The problem is that it's hard to really feel that with your body. It doesn't really hit you.
여러분의 가치가 중요하다는 것.
But to know that your value is important.
그렇기 때문에 여러분이 여러분의 몸을 끌고 여기 온 겁니다.
That's why you dragged your body all the way over here.
여러분 끌고 온 거예요.
So you dragged yourself over here,
감정으로 온 게 아니라
and you pulled yourself here not with your emotions,
여러분의 감성이 작용해서 여기 온 거다는 거예요.
but it was your sensibilities at work that made you come here.
맞으면 박수.
So if that's correct, then let's have a round of applause.